Thank you for joining us today on the BlueMilk podcast, where we talk about anything and everything Star Wars related. I'm BJ.
I'm here.
I'm drinking.
And a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Sugar. Speaking of enemas, what's our topic for today?
Why are you guys looking at me? You guys know the topic too.
Oh, we do? Alright, fine. Religion. We did
Star Wars.
We recently did politics. We might as well bring up the religious part.
Oh, we're hitting all of it right now. We're hitting
Then
everything.
hit all of it. So, where do we want to start?
Fuck, I don't know.
We should start by defining what exactly is religion in the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
Because most people, they don't really perceive any kind of religious aspects in Star Wars. They see it as fantasy or science fiction.
Okay, so, let's define the religion.
Or the religions.
Dark side, light side, dark side, light side.
Those are the two primary religions that are displayed in the Star Wars movie franchise.
What others?
There's the Church of the Force.
When's that one covered?
Episode 7.
Oh, yeah, with,
The guy who gives that map piece to Poe Dameron. He's part of the Church of the Force.
Max von...
Well, I imagine...
Exorcist dude, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's also, the Asian dude.
Yeah, those guys. I can't remember.
Donnie Yen?
Yes, Donnie Yen.
Yep.
Donnie Yen
Sure.
and, Maze Bow. I have no idea.
Balboa. Maze Balboa.
That's
Sure. His partner in
at
crime.
Balboa Park.
The two gentlemen that assist. What's her nuts in Rogue One?
Jyn Erso?
Yeah, that one.
Holy shit, dude.
Dude,
Wow.
I try not to remember
Really?
any.
Well,
Rogue One was good.
we
Some of
switched.
it, yeah.
We switched to the religious views, so everything else just kind of
Just
left.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was talking about the names. You guys went to a totally fucking direction.
So religious shit.
Yeah.
The Church of the Force. I mean, there's the Cult of Revan, the Revanites, in Legacy canon.
The Knights of Ren, I guess, could be. They're more a cult than a religious sect, though.
Sometimes
Well,
there
cults
might
and
not be a difference.
Cults and religions are the same.
And this is where we get into the fun stuff.
Because, Christianity started off as a cult. Still technically is.
Oh, and Catholicism isn't.
No, Catholicism's just an offshoot of Christianity.
It's a worldwide cult. No, Christianity didn't come around until Catholicism. Catholicism created the deification of Christ.
Christianity did the same thing.
No. Catholicism did the scribing of the Bibles. It was Rome. The Bibles came out of Rome. The deification came out long after Jesus had died. Deification in Star Wars also is along those same lines. Because, and I say that because Kylo looks at Vader as a deity.
Yeah, but that's more like Shintoism.
That's pure devotion there.
Yeah, but that's more like Shintoism because it's a familial thing.
Okay, I'll give you that.
He looks to his familial ancestors for guidance.
Oh, kind of like Mulan stuff, right?
Yes.
That's Shinto, dude.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Well, Mulan's Chinese.
Trying to make a connection.
I'm trying to make
Yeah, I get
connections, guys.
I get you.
Sorry.
I get you. China is mostly Confucianism and
Taoism.
Shinto was Japan.
Yeah.
And
they are very familial.
yeah. Well, they were. Well, they are.
The Chinese are still... They still are very familial. It's just not as prominent as it used to be.
Buddhism is the big one.
I just cracked my ankle. That's all. I feel really good.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
But
Was it a religious experience?
But so the light side and the dark side are definitely a religious following. There's the Church of the Force, the Revenites.
The Revenites, they're
is
the Sith themselves.
Well, the Force Witches of Dathomir.
Yeah,
They have their own kind of
they are definitely
belief structure, I would say, that is separate from both dark side and light side.
Well, I mean, even looking in just inside the Jedi themselves, there's the living force.
Sects.
Yeah, there's like the living force. There's the
it's like the difference between Protestants and
Protestants, Baptists, Methodists.
yeah, they're all Christian, so they would all fall under like Jedi.
Right.
But then there's different ways of following that belief structure, different interpretations of that belief structure. Because there's also there's even two forms of Buddhism that believe differently.
Well, I think Hinduism has a couple different ones as well.
I don't know about Hinduism. I don't know if there's any offshoots of Hinduism.
I'm trying to think of the other name.
Hinduism has like a million different gods, though. So I think it's just a matter of like which god do you believe in?
Pantheons.
That would also be like the Egyptian pantheon, Greek pantheon,
right? Roman,
which is
Roman and Greek pantheon.
Well, Rome.
They
and
were the
Greece,
same damn gods. They were just named different
names.
things.
Yeah, Rome conquered Greece and then essentially amalgamated their belief structure into
their shit.
Their Roman stuff. Prior to that, they were actually very close to Shinto. They were ancestor worshippers.
Gotcha.
In old Rome.
There's the North Pantheon.
Yeah, the
Norse.
The Norse gods.
Then you got
Valhalla and all that.
Oh, what the hell is the other stuff? There's like witchcraft and whatnot.
Wiccan.
But that's
Wiccan isn't really.
That isn't really a religion.
They say, well, it kind of is.
It's its own belief structure.
Cult.
It's an offshoot of paganism.
That's what's the word I was looking for.
That's just it. Paganism is a generic term.
Yeah.
As is Christianity.
Well, nowadays not so much, but I mean,
no, because they label
everything gets labeled.
You're a pagan.
Well, no, they don't lump a lot of stuff because now like people that identify as pagan have a certain belief structure. I mean, they're different than heathens,
but it's still
because heathenism is different than paganism, and Wiccan is different than all of it. And then there's...
Well, then you have the Wiccans that say, well, my belief structure has been around for thousands of years. Well, no, Wiccan is new.
Well, Wiccan is based off
it's
like Christianity. It's based off something else.
Yes. It is nothing old. It is new.
But that's essentially here. That's in real life. In Star Wars... There's
I'm
just
sure they
as
have
many.
Wiccans in Star Wars.
Well, that would be like the Force Witches of Dathomir.
I'm sorry, they have Wickets in.
I wouldn't say. Yeah, they have. Wiccans.
Well, I mean, the Ewoks had their own religion too. They do. I thought C-3PO was their golden god.
That's right.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
I wonder how that belief structure formed.
Something golden must have been there at some time,
or maybe crash landed.
Maybe. It could have been a droid ship that crash landed on the forest moon Bendor and taught the Ewoks how to build these tree houses and shit.
Maybe. I don't
Could
know.
be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's how it starts. Something simple. Something so mundane can start a religion.
That's kind of how the Dark Jedi that got expelled from after the Force Wars... When they went to Korriban, they conquered the Sith, and the Sith thought of them as like gods at that point.
There you go. You beat us, so you must be a god.
Same thing with like the Aztec culture at that point too.
Aztec, Mayans, Egyptians,
Incas.
Except they didn't really. Well, I mean,
they did conquer them.
Well, no, I'm just thinking of like blood sacrifice and all that. I don't think
the Sith did that really.
The Sith really had a lot of like I know that they're very tribally structured, like the Aztec, Incan, Mayan structures, possibly even Native American. like American Native Americans, which had their own belief structure.
Yeah.
But I don't... The Sith, I think, were kind of structured around those belief structures and in the way that they did their stuff. The Jedi are... I want to say they're more along the line, like, depending on which version of the Force you believe in, because there's a living Force and then there's midichlorians. Midichlorians seems to be based more off of, like, science fact instead of religious.
Every single religion that exists is a fantasy because it is all interpreted by the individual.
Yeah, I guess religions formed from individuals that are trying to find understanding of their religion together.
Okay.
So they conglomerate into a group or a consensus of this is what we believe this religion should be, and therefore that's what it becomes. It essentially elevates from a cult, because it starts as one person believing one thing, and then finding a lot of other people that believe similar, if not the same thing, and then those gathering and finding solace in each other's company in trying to understand their beliefs together. And that's when it essentially forms from like an individual to a gang to a cult to a full-on religion. It just depends on the structure of the organization.
Can I give a logical argument and then move back to Star Wars real quick?
Yes.
That's sure.
Alright. Monotheism. Regardless of which religion it falls into. Monotheism is anything but. No one God is the same God between individuals. Each individual will have their own interpretation of what that God is. They may believe there is only one God, but that particular God that they believe in is not the same as the person sitting next to them. Now, with that, in Star Wars, the Jedi don't seem to have any central figure that they follow other than the Force.
That's not quite true. Because he's...
Explain.
Jacob has, Jacob has enlightened us about the three Force gods.
But I don't believe they are...
I don't think they're all-encompassing with the whole Jedi Order.
I think the premise of the three Force gods is the Holy Trinity. The Father...
The premise, yes.
The Father, the Mother, and...
Father and the sister and brother.
It's the Father, Son, and Daughter is what...
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like...
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
So what happened to the Mother?
I do not know.
Okay. They don't ever explain in that. They literally are just like, these three exist, they've always existed, this is what they represent.
Yeah, they're called the gods of Mortis.
Right.
But they are pretty much just beings that are the Force, really.
They are physical representations of the Force.
The way you explained it before, it was the brother and the sister were the dark side and the light side, and the father was the neutral, the balance between the two.
He is the entire Force, and then you have, like, the son is, like, the dark side of the Force, and the daughter is the...
Think of it as, like, the father being the complete yin-yang.
Yeah.
And then the daughter being just the white side, and the son being just the black side.
So it's still all part of the same thing.
But the thing is with that is that you can... Even though it's not technically canon, there was the point of when George Lucas was thinking of having Darth Bane and Darth Revan talk to the son and tell him, hey, you need to do this. So I don't think they're really, like, per se, gods at that point. If anything, they're a little bit more of higher beings.
But they would be viewed as that by...
Yes. Well, I mean, they're called the gods of Wars for a reason.
People.
Exactly.
Common people.
Yeah.
One god is not one god. It's the individual.
See, like...
And it's the same thing with the Jedi. It's the same thing with the Sith.
Because everyone has their own interpretation of the Force itself. Because
exactly.
Darth Bane had a completely different interpretation of the Force than even Palpatine
Right.
or Vader at that point,
Right.
even though they were all following the rule too.
Well, the Jedi Council all had different views on how the Force was.
And which is why Qui-Gon never joined the Jedi Council.
Well,
fuck that shit.
when I say Jedi Council, I'm referring to
Like,
the
major
episodes Jedi Council.
Well, that's a good way of pointing out segregation, honestly.
Yeah.
Religious segregation. Qui-Gon was... I'm sure he was offered a position on the council.
Oh yeah, but he was like, "No, I can't. No, I'm not going to deal with you guys."
but that might be
I think that's accurate. Yeah,
I'm like,
mostly because most of the masters on the Jedi Council believed in the living force
Yoda
way of thinking, which is Yoda. Qui-Gon had a very unique perception that is rarely ever talked about in Star Wars, which is the midichlorians.
Don't they talk about that in the Phantom Menace? Actually,
the midichlorians, they didn't go into any depth in it,
but with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, I thought there was some type of thing like, if you kind of calm down, you would be on the Council Master. I thought that's what
there was a comment made.
The quote will be above us. Or,
we'll find it. We'll find
over
it.
us. But I'm pretty sure there is something like that.
There was a comment made by Obi-Wan that if Qui-Gon had done something, he would be on the Council.
But the point I'm trying to make is that that's a good example of religious kind of segregation, is that is even hinted at or vaguely,
well, that's
vaguely pointed at in Star Wars, is that, someone who goes against the status quo, this is how the Jedi Council believe, and they all believe and agree with Yoda, and therefore that's why they are the Jedi Council. But Qui-Gon Jinn, who believes differently, is like we get I get the impression that if Qui-Gon Jinn believed more like what Yoda believed, then he would have been welcomed very, very positively onto the Jedi Council. But because his beliefs are very different.
That's the point I'm trying to make, is religion is used as a central point of power. If you don't believe the same way I do, and I have more power than you, then you can't get anywhere.
Well, that's the prime example of something like that in modern...
That's exactly how religion is used right now. I mean, in our realm. That's exactly how it's used.
Even going into the politics thing, a lot of politicians use religion.
Yes,
even though
especially right now.
Especially, there might be some politicians that are, actually, religious and whatnot, but most of them are not really religious whatsoever.
Unless you're subservient to whoever's making the rules up here, it doesn't matter.
That's what I was going to point out, was that the direct analogy between... The best example of that would be the fact that the President of the United States, when he's sworn in, has to swear to God.
Which I disagree with. And
he also has to be very godly.
Which I also disagree with.
It's always expected that the President of the United States goes to church every Sunday, that he is a godly person.
I actually don't think that's even...
That is.
It's expected. It is expected.
I don't think he ever does, though.
Trump? I don't know. I think he does.
I'm not going to use any names, but yeah, okay.
Well, he's the president.
He's our current president. I know
people may not know that.
Hey, so Donald...
everyone fucking knows that. I'm
getting another
Sorry,
drink.
I tried to almost...
Pause.
Pausing. Okay.
Where were we?
Can we get back to that? I don't know. I lost track. Where were we?
We were talking about something. I can't remember. Religion. I know that.
I know we were talking about religion. Oh, the fact that the President of the United States is expected to be a godly individual. Even if they may personally not be a godly person, they're still expected to be a godly person.
And that whole godly shit didn't come around until the 60s, at least with the Pledge of Allegiance. And that's accurate.
Alright.
What I don't appreciate is the fact that the godliness now is being shoved down our throats. This is how you should be. And no.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, we're at this point, I feel like social justice warriorism is pushed down our throat a little bit harder than godliness.
That's so fucking ridiculous. You have to tolerate everybody.
But
and if you don't tolerate everybody,
that kind of belief,
then you're a horrible person.
Star Wars.
What?
SJWs.
Droids.
Do you think Star Wars has
its own SJWs? Because of Solo.
No, but the droid revolution. There was a droid revolution. But
I understand that. You would say that all trans people and like the LGBTQ community are droids in Star Wars?
No,
like, that's their what like.
Dude, in fucking Star Wars, they probably have aliens. You can like, I sexually identify as a Twi'lek or something.
No, they don't have that. They don't need to.
I don't think they
don't know. We have people here that they say they identify as a dog.
And it's stupid.
I understand that.
Well, and they have aliens. There's actually people out there that identify as aliens.
Like I'm a lizard folk.
We're all aliens.
I saw an interesting article about a gentleman that is trying to get surgery to the point where he doesn't have genitalia anymore. He just has a lump there because he wants to be an alien.
Where the fuck is he going to go pee? You gotta go pee.
If he's let him.
Pee on his finger like Scary Movie 3.
No, he just hook a tube up and it drains out.
Dude.
It's the same.
He sips up his fucking bodysuit.
Dumb.
It is dumb.
It is whatever it wants to be. People believe what they want to believe, and they will always do that. It's always been that way.
So,
like, nothing has changed other than technology and the capability for these people to vocalize their opinions. That's the only thing that's changed.
People believe what they want to believe.
Just like flat earthers.
So let them believe that. But don't force that belief on others.
But that's humans. Humans are always
power.
Like that.
Religion is used as power.
Well, no, that's just humans in general, man. I mean,
humans. To be honest, most people are Sith in nature.
Yeah. Oh boy, are
they just don't like admitting it because
that's exactly it. Christianity is the most hypocritical.
What he means by that is most people are very emotional. Just about every person on this planet is emotional. It's really hard
not
be emotional. Yeah. I mean, even people that try to suppress their emotions in one way or another end up being emotional, but in like an opposite kind of way. Like, it eventually gets to the point where it comes out without them even knowing it, or without intentionally wanting to express it.
Well, yeah, usually unintentionally.
Yeah, like, it happens. Like, they suppress it, but you can only do that so much before, essentially,
you burst.
The dam breaks. And
you go to a supermarket and shoot up the entire supermarket.
Blasphemy. Vulcans.
Even Vulcans in Star Trek have been stated to be emotional. They do.
They suppress
but they still have the Punk Far.
It comes out. Exactly.
They still have a Punk Far. I think it's like once every 3 years.
7 years.
7 years?
Mating ritual.
It's the Vulcan mating ritual.
An adolescence type.
No. It's a Vulcan mating ritual in which they go into heat. And when they're in heat, all of their emotions just come out. And they have to eat meat.
They can't control them.
They have to eat meat because normally Vulcans are vegetarians, vegans to be specific.
They don't eat vegans.
No, they don't eat vegans. They eat vegetables, and
but when they eat meat, they might eat vegans.
They might.
Yeah, they might. I don't know. They eat meat though during the Pong Far when their body chemistry alters and they go into heat, and they have to mate, and that's just how it is.
They are female cats.
And male cats, too.
Male cats don't go into heat.
Oh, they always want to fuck.
Humans.
Exactly. Male cats are always DTF.
Yes.
Humans are like that.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Women, I mean, I guess women try to hide that aspect. I mean, honestly, it's more of a societal thing. Like, if a woman is openly promiscuous, she's labeled as
like a slut or a
whore. It's something negative, but honestly, that's not accurate. Because I mean, and men are elevated if they fuck around. You know, like you're a god, you're a sex machine. You fuck all these women.
Not so much anymore.
I know
it's less and less.
It's because of social justice warriors, though.
Societal norms.
But I'm not saying there's anything bad about SJWs. I'm just saying that SJWs have more negative things ascribed to them than not.
It's because they usually don't truly understand what they're talking about.
Well, they want things to change to benefit them, but they don't understand that they are the minority. And that the culture is generally driven by majority. Like,
No, it isn't.
It can be.
No, it is driven by the loudest minority.
Sometimes.
No, it's driven by the loudest minority. Look at what's happening with... damn it, we're coming back to Earth here. California and New York. They are the biggest bitchers about the current government system and the last election. The popular vote, the actual number of people that voted for a bitch that I would never vote for, even if I was on my deathbed.
We're still not naming names, though.
No, we're not naming names, but
I will, Hillary.
The old hag will never and should never ever hold any office ever again because she's fucking useless.
He's referring to Hillary Clinton.
And that's just an opinion.
That's his opinion.
It's just my opinion. So you have... What was I talking about?
Hillary.
New York and California.
New York and California. The popular vote?
Yeah.
Now they want to do away with the Electoral College. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want New York and California deciding what happens with this country, because that's exactly what would happen. That's where the population centers are. They would decide what happens with this country, and I'm not okay with that. Mm-hmm. The Electoral College is necessary.
And then
but the Electoral College is corrupt.
No, well, it can be
at the current state.
Apparently,
at the current state of what the Electoral College is, it's not correct. It needs to not be actual fucking people voting. It needs to be no people whatsoever. The people vote, and they decide on what they want to do with those fucking votes. And that's it.
So
instead of
the Galactic Senate.
To be honest, well, no, the Galactic Senate, they vote for people, and then those senators go to Coruscant, and then they vote on shit.
That's exactly what the Electoral College
and
is.
I don't want that.
Yeah, to be fair,
you vote. I want my vote to actually fucking count instead of, we might listen to you. No,
actually, the closest approximation to how the Galactic Republic works is when there was a policy that was implemented galaxy-wise in the Republic, the common folk, like us, wouldn't even know about that vote until after the Senate had already voted on it.
Yeah.
Because the Senate, like, we vote on our representatives in our corresponding areas, like, you know, Naboo, Tatooine. Well, Tatooine wasn't part of the Republic. It was in the Outer Rim.
Alderaan,
Fondor, a lot of those planets. Coruscant, you know, all
Kashyyyk.
that. Kashyyyk, no.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, Kashyyyk was a member of the Republic. Same thing with, like, E.T.'s race and all that.
Coruscant would have representatives.
Twi'leks did not. They were...
Ryloth, really?
Ryloth was enslaved by the Hutts.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, that's why Twi'lek slaves are very...
Gondor, Middle Earth...
No, there's the Battle of Ryloth, which the Separatists actually take over, and then the Republic come in and free Ryloth.
Okay.
So,
that's during the Clone Wars, right?
The banking clans.
Oh, you're going beforehand?
Yeah.
The banking clans had their own Senate.
Yeah,
people.
The banking clan, the Trade Federation.
Yeah, like...
While they were still in the fucking Federation.
Yeah, see, we go back far enough,
Sorry,
and everyone
that's politics. It's not religion. But
they're intrinsically tied together.
That's just it. Politics and religion are intertwined.
I mean, the main reason that Palpatine did what he did and created the Empire was a direct correlation to his religious beliefs being a Sith. That's why he did what he did.
He created power, and he got the power.
Yeah, he did. Well, I mean, it all stems from his belief structure as a Sith. Mm-hmm. Because the rule of two and the Sith at that point, the belief structure was there's the master that has all the power, and there's an apprentice that craves the power. That's the whole point of the rule of two. And on top of that, the Sith always wanted revenge against the Jedi. The Jedi were seen intrinsically as the pillar that holds the Republic up.
Which is kind of true at that point.
What I don't...
Even early on, even if you go as far back as like KOTOR in the Old Republic, the Jedi are still seen as a pillar that allows the Republic to exist.
Even in canon now, actually what I found out is that the Jedi sworn to defend the Galactic Republic. Because I don't know if they did that back in...
they did. In the Old Republic?
Did they swore, or were they just labeled as peacekeepers? Because...
They were legitimate members of the Republic. Okay. They were seen as like a police force.
So, at that point...
And that kind of was...
That's the reason why
that
they
was
go
addressed
into
in
the
Phantom
Clone
Menace.
Wars at that point, which doesn't make any sense because during the Mandalorian Wars, when the Jedi were kind of split, like, we need to go help the Republic. No, they were sworn fucking duties of, they need to go fucking
And that's why Revan did what he did during the Mandalorian Wars.
I would have fucking joined with Revan.
A lot of fucking Jedi did. Like, most of the Jedi Academy went with Revan because they were of the belief that they are the defenders.
They have a duty.
They are the military, or at least part of the military.
And instead, they were looked at as conquerors after the fact.
Well, that's because they were.
Or even...
Because they weren't Jedi when they came back.
With General Hoth on...
The only person that was the exile.
And General Hoth during the Bane trilogy.
On Rusan.
Yeah. Some of the Jedi were kind of split of even joining the fight against...
Right. Oh, yeah.
The Sith. The Brotherhood of Darkness.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
Which... You're sworn fucking protectors, bitches. Sorry, that was a kind of a rant right there. Back to religion.
What does that have to do with religion?
That is part of the religion. I mean, because all of these...
There's going to be infighting between the two no matter what.
But there shouldn't be, because it's all part of the same fucking thing.
Well, no, the Sith, they are kind of like, no, we fucking hate the Jedi, we're going to kill them.
And the Jedi are like,
just it.
It has nothing to do with the religion. It's an individual hatred, individual species.
No, that's
actually not true. Because literally in Sith, the first line, peace is a lie, there's only passion. You kind of have to have war at that point. So it is literally...
You don't have to. You can have passion without war.
That's very true.
Okay, but...
Like, I mean, the credo for the Sith, the Sith credo is very aggressive.
Yes.
Emotional.
It reads very aggressive.
It is very aggressive. It is very... Like, I'm coming after you. It's very offense. Or Predatorial, yeah.
And the Jedi credo is very...
Passive.
Hypocritical.
Passive.
It's hypocritical.
It's very...
It reads passive, and yet they go and make sure that nothing happens.
They go passive-aggressive. They are Karen and the kids.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's a thing. Karen and the kids.
Yeah, they're just super passive-aggressive.
Explain for the people that are my age.
So, Karen is your typical soccer mom who has the let me talk to your manager haircut, and she usually has kids with her who are super fucking annoying and she doesn't do shit because she's texting on her phone.
That's all I want to know. Okay, fine. She can go fuck herself.
It's passive-aggressive.
It's a passive-aggressive. Karen and the kids.
The Jedi credo breeds a lot of passive aggressiveness because effectively they're expected to be these wise teachers that are very peaceful and knowledgeable, yet they're also expected to be capable of defense, like not only just defense but offense as well. Like they are trained to be combatants as much as
and to be honest,
teachers.
I think the person who balances that the most is Obi-Wan. He does
kind of follow that fine line.
Yoda is a little bit more on the wiser side. Maybe when he was younger, he might have been a little bit more of a warrior. But I think Obi-Wan is the most encompassing of all of that.
I would say Yoda is the most encompassing. He is.
Yoda is not...
Yoda's the epitome Jedi.
Obi-Wan is... He does show emotion.
Obi-Wan is the one that flirts the closest with the Sith.
Well, that's because
Obi-Wan is
Anakin all the time.
Obi-Wan is the closest to being a gray Force user in the Star Wars universe canon, Disney canon.
All right.
Obi-Wan is the closest to being a gray Force user. Yoda is the epitome of Jediism because he does everything that Yoda does is influenced by knowledge.
Until he's a Force ghost.
Even when he's a Force,
he's just like, he's fucking around.
He fucks with people.
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't do it maliciously, and he's not coming from.
I don't know. That laugh, man.
It comes across. It depends on perception.
And he did do that.
You perceive it.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, but the thing is he wasn't hurting anyone by doing that.
He hurt that tree. That tree's dead.
It's already dead. It doesn't matter.
That tree was part of the living force.
Yeah, so it just means the Force is going to move on to something else. It doesn't matter. Just like when Yoda died, the Force in him moved on to something else.
He might have hurt Luke.
He's old. He did that specifically. You guys are going about what ifs and maybes. I'm talking about certainties.
It's the BlueMilk podcast. Of course we are.
If only Rey had been in that tree.
But we're talking about religion, and religion, right now on the certainties, the facts of what we know about Star Wars is that Jedi belief structure breeds passive aggressiveness as well as it is very contradictory, which is honestly a lot like the modern day Bible.
Christianity in general.
Christianity, Catholicism, yes, it is very passive aggressive in the way that it does what it does.
The Jewish, the
Jews the Jewish is very good on being passive aggressive as well.
Yeah,
that's they're very closely linked at certain points. I'm not going to say that they're similar in any way. They're not. Judaism is Judaism. Christianity is Christianity.
But Christianity was kind of born from
part of it. Yeah, I mean, Christ, when he existed, was Jewish, and then broke off to create Christianity. So there is that.
And it just so happens that some of the workers, a good portion of the workers that were part of the Egyptian era, were also Hebrew and would have been considered Jewish, but they're not.
The question you gotta ask yourself, though, is Anakin the Christ figure?
Yeah.
And George Lucas made it that way.
But
he made it that way.
Is Christian is the dark side, considering he turns to the dark side?
Oh, hurry up and ask that question.
Is the dark side Christianity?
Yes, it is.
You said we weren't gonna be pointing fingers and all that shit.
I said we weren't. I am.
You guys.
Christianity is the dark side.
He's just stating his opinion.
You're that is.
Yeah.
We are stating all of our own opinions.
All right. They got that. They got that. If you want to sue anybody, sue Christ. Good job.
I wonder. Well,
sue
I mean,
the United States government for fucking us all.
No.
For fucking us all, yes.
No.
The Catholic religion gets sued regularly.
Sue Mesopotamia.
And we're all selling. I really just wanted to do that. End with sue the United States government. Thank you for watching the BlueMilk podcast. Hopefully you got enlightened somehow in this, or at least had
hopefully
some fun.
not in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, no.
Please just realize that these are the opinions of three dumbass guys just making a video.
No apologies will be made.
Yeah,
so get over it.
We're not going to apologize for our opinions. Everyone has them. And
just like assholes.
Yeah, and
some people don't have an asshole.
If you agree with some of these, great. If you disagree, which is more than likely going to happen, great. Okay.
That's what the comment section is for.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
Even if it may be wrong.
That is not accurate, because
Attack of the Clones is a terrible fucking movie.
Everyone's
opinion is wrong.
No opinion is wrong, because that's how the world works.
Some people are stupid, but no opinion is wrong.
Because opinions are opinions.
The Earth is a loop.
You don't even believe that, so shut the fuck up.
That's funny, you do really funny.
I had this sudden urge to just reach across BJ and stab him. With this beer bottle. Just stab him with the beer bottle.
So yes, thank you for watching this episode. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, because you guys probably got that big ol' announcement already. If not, hey, there's going to be a big ol' announcement coming up here soon, so depending on when we release this episode, woo!
God.
It'll be relatively close.
Yeah.
the release of this episode will be relatively close.
So, yeah, that'll be fun. Don't forget to go watch The Real Film Nerds and The Mile High Show. The Mats will very much appreciate that. And the Mike. So the M&M. They should really do the 3M show.
They really should not.
Oh, yeah, because it's Matt and Mike.
Yeah.
And then Matt.
And then
Matt, Mike, and Matt.
Yeah. M&M.
M&M.
And they just talk about food.
What?
They just talk about food. The podcast.
Oh, yeah. The 3Ms. If they ever got together, they would not do that. They would talk about alcohol and, like, fucking nerd shit.
Really, would Matt Santos
They probably talk about us.
They would.
Is he really that nerdy?
Santos? Oh, hell no. But, you know, the other two would totally do it just to annoy Matt. Just to annoy Santos.
Yeah.
Santos and Hinshaw would be talking about us.
That's not
They
true.
usually... Well, I mean...
I don't think we get talked about as much as we wish we did. Let me
talk about us more.
I don't think the BlueMilk podcast comes up in casual conversation as often as we wish it did.
Yeah, guys, get on that, would you?
Raise some hell.
Great.
Talk about us more.
Yeah.
But anywho,
yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Have fun. Toodles.
Yeah.
Come to the dark side.